Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Grounded Oracles. If you are new, my name is Tracy and you are truly welcome here. If you are returning, you are also truly appreciated. Know that I pray for you daily. Whether you're new or returning, feel free to leave prayer requests in the comment box. I'd be happy to pray for you. It would be a privilege to do so. So, Sag, welcome. And we're going to start off with a intuition meditation card. I usually start with three and ask you to tune into one that speaks to you the most, but we are going to do this one card, and I would encourage you to take a picture of it, save it on your phone, or put it on your vision board. Really meditate, journal, pray over this, and see what spirit would show you about the images and the wording. And your intuition will expand on this message. So today I pulled Soul Family. You are not alone. It's time to reach out for support. Show up, show up, unite, and uplift. It's beautiful, Sag. Hold it here for a minute for you. Okay. And then, Sag, I hope you've been doing well. And how has everybody been doing? I hope everybody's doing, emotionally and physically well during this busy holiday season. And so feel free to leave a comment as to how things are going and what kind of um, prayer or anything else that you might need at this time. Okay, Spirit, what does Sag need to know at this time? What does Sag need to know? Okay. We have some cards hopping out here. We have the Knight of Wands. We have the Six of Pentacles. We have the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, so we have some growth and some progression. We have the King of Wands. We have the Queen of Pentacles. All right, show all those. All right, and then we have the Three of Pentacles. So we have Sag, we have a lot of pentacle energy, and I really think the first thing that comes to mind is your overall well-being of your body. Okay, as in, this is a busy holiday season. No matter how you may celebrate, or even if you don't celebrate at all, are you giving yourself the care that you need, Sag? This is your birthday season, and I say happy birthday. And I truly hope you have a blessed season, during this busy holiday time. And are you listening to your body? Are you giving it the exercise it needs, the food it's craving? Are you drinking enough water? And these things are obviously super important because we can only go on so much, right? We can't live on fumes. That catches up with us right quick. So you're being invited to slow down as much as you can. The gift of time is the best gift you can give anybody, family, friends, and yourself. So make sure you're treating yourself right, okay? And you are a work in progress, right? And there is some progression here, there's some growth here. So perhaps some of that growth is learning how the ebbs and flows of giving and receiving, and that can be giving to yourself, right? And then giving to your family and friends. You can again go so long on living on fumes, Sag, that you need a rest and a break, and it's time to invest in yourself and be open to receiving. Um, Another message that's coming in, maybe a little odd, is the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So that's what's coming to me from the Seven of Pentacles. So there is a need to be aware when those cycles are happening again. When you are like, wait a minute, I am not getting the results I want, and really look at whether or not if you were doing things the same way you've been doing them. Sometimes routines can be disguised as different things, and really in reality we have the same patterns and routines. And so we don't want to take another trip around that mountain, right? We want some different scenery. So be willing to take a good hard look at yourself this season, Sag, just to see if there's some things that maybe you need to dial back on and try some new things, right? Maybe that's the gift you can give to yourself is try some new things. Doesn't need to be anything big and scary. um, Not asking you to spend money, not asking you to show up and be somebody you're not. Be willing to show up as who show up. So I'm just thinking now about our soul family card. So you do need to be the soul family to yourself. Be willing to show up and unite your higher self, your inner child, your spirit team. And sometimes we have to be our own motivators. Be willing to uplift yourself. And we can do that through an attitude of gratitude. We can do that through writing down the small wins and really celebrating those. Okay. And I feel like as you're willing to kind of invest in yourself, there's going to be more peace that comes with that. All right. There's going to be more of that uniting spirit. I don't know. This just keeps really coming up. I almost feel like I need to lay it down here as part of our read because it's really important. Um, we have new moon coming up here shortly, so you don't need to wait for a new year to set resolutions, right? You don't need to do that. I'm actually a fan of not setting any resolutions. My resolution is not to set resolutions because we're so hard on ourselves. And I just think sometimes we need to give ourselves a break. So maybe your intention can start with a new moon to, you know, just give yourself that gift of time and awareness, showing up for yourself. Okay. And that can be take on many different forms and it can be extremely simple. It can also be very hard in that simplicity. So try not to overcomplicate things. So it's we have no water energy and we don't have any air energy. So we're talking about fire and earth energy, being really grounded and passionate about yourself and investing in yourself, Sag. So my eyes drawn to the rabbit, all right? So we're talking about bringing in an element of life and rabbits they're very fertile, right? They're fertile and they're abundant. So we need to give ourselves the abundance. We need to not just take from an overflow from what other people give us, right? No breadcrumbs here. That's coming to mind. So you need to sometimes give yourself the filet mignon, right? Not the scraps, but you need the steak to eat from. Some of you may want to have your iron checked out, iron deficiencies. Make sure you check with your doctor. I'm not a doctor, but just it's coming to the forefront. So um, don't be afraid to invest in yourself. Okay, so in pets, if you have any pets, feel free, get them checked out. Okay, that's one thing. Two, if you don't have a pet, you may want to consider pet sitting for someone else, going to a farm, going to a place where there's animals that you can actually touch and interact with because they're very healing and they can act as a mirror back to us, especially horses. They really reflect back to us how we're feeling, and it can be really an eye opening experience. So, Spirit is bringing that to mind that get outdoors the best that you can, move your body, and try to invest in your pets. Take out more walks if you can. Going to hang out with other animals if you're not allowed to have them. So that's something that will be really important for you, Sag. Also, collaborating with other people for some new passionate ideas that you have. So, you being the fire sign, right? We have the King of Wands, double fire. And I think with this being your birthday season, Sag, if your birthday is already passed, doesn't mean your time's up or over. This is a timeless read. It's a general read. So whenever you click on this video, there will be something in it for you. But this is about reigniting and loving yourself on a deeper level, really loving who you are, loving the passion that you bring to the table for your work, through your projects, for your family, and taking action on those things. I kind of look at this particular Knight of Wands as taking action and sort of not necessarily facing the past, looking to the past, but like if you do like a serpentine or a loop, if you're familiar at all with any horseback riding dressage patterns, you go around and you go back down the middle line towards your true north, right? That's what's coming to mind. So it's almost like you have to be willing to look at where you've come from, and some of that could be those old patterns and routines, that definition of insanity. Be willing to look at it, observe it, engage with it, reason with it, and then turn around and walk away from it, ride away from it, however you want to term it, and pour yourself into your future. Some of you may be looking too much at the past and what hasn't happened, what you wish had happened, and it's okay to be looking at those things. Give yourself permission to sit with those things, but try not to sit around uh like a pity party, right? Don't mean to sound harsh, but sometimes we can pull up a cup of tea and sit there like Alice in Wonderland, the Mad Hatter Tea Party, and we're kind of sitting there celebrating um various different things. Celebrate yourself, Sag. Celebrate how far you've come. Celebrate how far yet you have to go and what you have to learn. Okay. um see what else. This is definitely a time of family and collaboration, no matter how you term family, work friends, co-workers, acquaintances, your neighborhood, your community. Embrace them. Maybe they're part of your soul family, but embrace them. Be willing to work with them. And as you do, be willing to be as open and as vulnerable as you can. It's hard for sure, but there's a beauty in it. There's a strength and vulnerability that when you are open, you're allowing people in, that giving and receiving, uniting for a common good, right? We all have struggles in common in this life. We're at different places in our timeline, but we are all facing struggles, and we all need to be there to support each other. So sad you are being invited to invest in yourself, fall in love with yourself again. And sometimes that just is like sitting down with a paper and pen and writing out the things you appreciate about yourself. Lean on your soul family or your community um, to help bolster you. Like if you're struggling and feeling stuck as to what your strengths are and what you've accomplished, it's okay to ask other people to show up with you. Okay, that's okay. We need each other, Sag. All right, I'm going to pull some oracle cards to see if there's anything else Spirit wants to show us at this time. So we definitely have some progression here. All right, we have growth, major growth towards dreams and visions that you have. And for some of that, that is defining what a family looks like to you and what you look like to your family, how you are showing up. How are you uniting them? And are you uplifting yourself and are you uplifting others? There's got to be the balance of the equal give and take. You can't constantly pour into people and never get anything back. That wears you down. And neither can you constantly be taking, right? So try to look at that balance. All right. So we have childhood innocence. So for some of you, it's about finding that childhood innocence, letting the sun in through the clouds by kind of getting rid of the cobwebs. And that I think is just at this time, Sag, like residual things. The healing that you've done, the reflection that you've put in. You might have already been there, done that. And now it's just sort of being willing to let that next piece go because it does take time. It's healing is like an onion, okay? It's like you take off the layers of onions and it's not ever a one and done thing. So try to embrace that inner child. And as you unite your soul family, your inner child with your higher self, and kind of come to terms with things, letting people in, right? Collaboration is huge. I was just part of actually a book circle that talks about uh, Mr. Rogers and his viewpoint on enhancing providing curiosity and creativity to children, and how that gets snuffed out as we start to grow up and we care about what people think and what they do, and we're perfectionist, or we're hard on ourselves. We kind of get away from that curiosity and that creativity. So don't be afraid to call upon that, reinvest that in your life so you can really connect with yourself. Definitely, especially if you consider that part of your soul family. All right, reconnect with innocence. There's a power in that. Okay. All right, Spirit, what else does Sag need to know? All right. Beautiful. And we have number 21 or 3, which is all about growth. I forgive and release the past to heal my life. Right? Sometimes it might get a little old. Okay, I'm sick of healing. I know I've gone through that. Like, I'm just tired of digging up stuff, and you can be too hard on yourself sometimes. So I think just as you embrace this innocence and willing to look at your routines and habits and willing to look at the past but not linger there, you're going to find a sense of healing that is going to help you invest in yourself, help you with your patience. So that's a beautiful thing, Sag. Hmm. Investing. Your legacy that you leave behind one day is different for each person, but definitely a legacy that is forefront and central is who you end up leaving behind. What do you want to leave them? Is it about the money, or is it more about, you know, teaching them kindness, teaching them the skills and things that you experiences that you had, sharing the stories with them? So that kind of just wraps right back to the whole family and community. You know, there's power in telling your story. And what are you going to share with yours? Whether or not it's, you know, god nieces and nephews, your neighbor's child, your own children, your own grandchildren, doesn't matter. Your story, your life has matter, Sag. And I think you need to be willing to share that. So for some of you, this may be looking back on your past stories and your childhood stories, writing them down, maybe recording them. And some of you may be writing a book, you may be doing poetry, you may be sharing the gift of storytelling with others. So that's beautiful. If you have a history of doing that, or that's something you're interested in doing, please feel free, leave it in the comment box. We'd love to know how you share your life with others and what kind of story you're told in the legacy that you're leaving. Or if that's something you want to get into and you want to develop that gift, again, that's like a practice that you can put into place. You can write your own memoirs. It doesn't have to be, you know, a 300-page book. It could be just writing down your story. And that's beautiful, Sag, because it is a story worth telling. All right, Sag, that was it for your reading. I hope you found something here that resonated for you. And know that I'm be praying for you. I hope you have a great week and stay grounded.